name is Madonna Wambua. I am an Android Engineer 3. I work for Stream, which is a front door company. And I am a woman tech maker. I recently became a GDE Android. I am also an engineering student. I'm also a mom and a wife. It's fun, it's a lot. Enjoy all those responsibility, and also the thing that I enjoy the most is sharing with my community. So a little brief, I started sharing like what I've learned when I joined Women Who Code back in 2019, and I felt like this helped me a lot, especially in keeping my knowledge up to date, because in our world where we build software every other day, it keeps changing and it keeps improving. And how do you maintain that knowledge where at least you know how to keep in to stay in track, and at least you keep learning each other time? What better way than just sharing it with other people, and teaching you? The best way to learn something new is through teaching. So with that said, I'm gonna share my screen. But even before I go further, I would like for everybody on the chat, thank you very much, everybody who's taking the time to attend today. Just not introduce yourself, but rather just say where you're coming from. And also in the chat, just tell me if you know about Kotlin, or if you've heard about Kotlin, or what experience do you have about Kotlin? Do you have in Kotlin? Sorry. I want to see those ones before we begin. I'm waiting. We can do this. Also, tell me if you've done Java before, because when I started doing Android, it was purely Java. But recently, I learned that when I was looking for a job, I couldn't find anybody. I mean, I know that companies are still doing Java and are accepting people to come with Java, but I was more of, I was told you need to start using Kotlin. We do have a code base that is still in Java, but every new thing now is in Kotlin, which is awesome. And I love Kotlin as somebody who's been working with Java. I'm not biased. I just like it now. Nice, nice. I'm doing Java now because I started in Kotlin from Chile. Hey, from Chile. Never used Kotlin. Cool. Okay. Never worked with Java. Okay. Using both. I like that. I like that. Nice, nice. Also Kotlin, nice, nice. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Thank you very much, everybody, for doing that. It's always good to get the room started. Okay, I'm going to go here and share my screen.
Just real quick, if anyone wishes to say something, we'll be more than happy to enable the camera and the mic. Just please
Oh, yeah.
say so in the chat, and we'll make you a host or whatever is needed.
Yeah, and please don't leave early. I would like to. I know I got an. This is amazing because I got an inbox from a friend who's joining today, and she told me, "I'm sorry, I'll come, but I'll leave early." And I said, "It's okay, but don't leave early. You can stick around, and then we can all close together and then take a picture together." Okay, I'm gonna share my screen now. And today's activity is going to be more of participation. So I'll be pausing at times just to ask if somebody has done the thing that we're going to be doing, because it's good. This is not like where you're watching someone do a tutorial, because I've done that before. Like just sat there and watched a tutorial. Let's go and just coding. I would like to see what challenging you're experiencing when you're trying to do the simple thing we're trying to do. Okay, so here I'm going to share my screen. It's going to show that, and I think I want to share. Oh, okay, so let me share. Okay, yeah, I think I can pick a window. Okay, just 1 minute. I think I figured it out. This is what I want to share in the beginning. And I can say share window. Here you go. Good. Can everybody see that? Is it very, I remember the last time I had an issue with it being too, I don't have my monitor today, So I just have this one here. Because I remember when I showed through my Monday was pretty big. It's the great view. Okay, good, good, good. Awesome. So I'm gonna just read through some of the like our beginning code lab. So about this code lab. In this code lab, you're going to write your first program in Kotlin language using an interactive editor that you can run from your browser. And as I do that, so it says here the prerequisites, what you learn, what you build, and what you need. So I hope everybody has a computer with a modern web browser such as the latest version of Chrome and internet access on your computer. And if you're able to just read with me along, that's also a good idea. Yes, 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 yes. That's a good point. There you go. Yeah, so that we can read together. Okay, here we go. And before you, so I think this is, I'm going to share this with the browser too with everybody. I think I also need to share that screen. Oh, you can see it here. Can you see this one? Do we need to use the Android IDE or so for today we're gonna use the Kotlin plate. Yes, you do. Okay. Do we need? Oh yeah, here's the Kotlin playground where today we can play around with it a bit as we walk along, as we try to print our fast few statements and just follow the code lab. And then once if we get through that pretty early, we're gonna check if everybody has their Android Studio installed for the next session and like that. So let me go here. Please let me know if you, let me, um, just want to make sure I don't have so many tabs opened. And here we go. Everybody can see my playground. Okay. Try Kotlin and practice what you've learned so far. So that's the playground. So in here, as you can see, in your browser, open that, which is what I've shared on the link. You should see a page similar to the screenshot below with a code editor in the middle and try Kotlin practice, which is what we've seen. And then this program, this is the program code in the editor. So function main. So let me ask another question and see what everybody. The other thing I would like to ask, please, in the comment section, can I just hear or see how many people have experiences in building applications or writing any programming language? Say it if it's a 1, 2, 3, or how many years? How many years do you have? Let me see that in the chat. 1 year, good. 1 year, 1 year, 1.5, less than 1 year. Oh, you got four in the code lab. Let me see. Four in the code lab. Let me see if I can try to help with that. Okay. Let me make sure I get the entire link. Ooh, 10 years in development. 21 is it? Okay. Okay. Just started it. Okay. That's pretty amazing. Okay. Got it. Okay. Cool. So far I see everybody has like so 1 year, 1 year. So do we have any beginners? Like somebody that doesn't have any experience at all, never wrote any line. Because the first one is pretty easy. We're gonna be playing around with Kotlin. Okay, there we go. Plus 20 C plus plus, C sharp. Wow, that's amazing, Jake. That's amazing. I'm an Android pro here to help. Studio gives you in trouble. That's amazing. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna react like that too. Whoa, that is amazing, Jake. No Kotlin. Okay, cool. No Kotlin. Cool. Cool. Let me get back to it. That's amazing. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. That at least helps me. like know just how we're gonna go through this, just gonna follow the collab. I will always want to make sure everybody sees my screen. Okay. So the first program today, as you can see, we're gonna just print a simple "Hello World," and I want to. I'm gonna share. I hope I can share my playground. Everybody can see my playground, and I'm gonna hit run. Oh, it works. Cool. Did everybody see that? Did everybody practice that? Just click on the run, and then it says "Hello World." So basically, as you can see here, you notice that "Hello World" printed like in the image above. So now you know what this program does. It prints an output "Hello World." So func main, the way I view it, for instance, if when I was writing Java, we used to have public static void main. That's how it was. And then it had this parameter that took a string argument. And then the string argument, most of the time, it never returned anything. It was just we passed it inside. And you would go ahead and do system.out.println hello world. But as you can see, Kotlin has made it much faster and easier, not even faster, like more easier. What I say easy is easier the term, but less code for sure. Because here we just have func main and then print line hello world. And if you can go ahead here, I think you can also add another print line, and then you can say my fast code jam and try to run that too. As you can see, it will print that. So let me read the comment. Oh, good, good, good. So I've seen just about Kotlin, but not even a single line. Just about Kotlin, but not even single line. Okay. I think since we're doing this together, I would like for people to just take a few minutes to play around with that. Right about, okay. Yeah, let's try to just write something on your code on your playground and run it and see if it's going to run nicely and smoothly. That is always the fast. I remember even at school, that is always the fast step you do. Just write a simple "Hello World" and it's like magic. Like this thing printed this. How? And then the next step, we're going to modify your program, change the "Hello World" code to the text that says "Happy Birthday." And I think that's going to be pretty easier. I want to see if people have done that. Just following that. I'm waiting. Anybody played with it? Done. Good, good. Yes. Done. Done. Good. Done. Done. I love that. So how does it work? How is this done? This seems like a lot of code to just print something. Well, if you wanted a friend to write "Hello World" on a piece of paper, there's a lot of implied information. If you just tell them write "Hello World" on this piece of paper, they're going to make assumptions about the information left out. For example, they're going to assume they need to use a pen and they want to and that you want them to write it using letters. The computers doesn't make these assumptions. So you have to give a precise instruction that includes every step. Just like the English language has structure, so does programming language. So if you ever learned another language, you know the challenge of learning the grammar, the spelling, perhaps a new alphabet of symbol and the vocabulary. Learning to program has similar challenges, but fortunately, it is less complex and a lot more logical than learning, for example, English. That is very true, I can say for sure. Because I think most of the time when you're writing, most of the time I can speak, for instance, the experience of just coming from Java. So once you understand one language, this is what I've learned and known, is that once you understand one language, it's always easier, to be fair, like to move from that language to another. I know one thing that will make it a bit difficult is maybe the syntax, because I know one thing that I kept going doing wrong was always adding those semicolon, was it, wait, they're called semicolons, always adding them, and I'm like, Kotlin does not do that anymore. And then I would have like, we don't need this anymore. So those kind of syntax issues are always going to be there. But if you know one language well, I feel like everything else, like the logic, the if statement, the when, all those are the conditionals, those ones are the same. So it will always work the same. Now, the thing that's interesting now with Android is that once you kind of like understand this language, when we print this, for instance, in the Android Studio, which I think we're gonna do in the next study jam, you'll see it just becomes like magic. It's like magic. You're like, wow. So that was printed on a screen that people can see and that people can actually download. So it's fun. So making Android applications have been pretty fun for me. So here, as you can see the code jump, let's keep going. So we have func main. So main is the name of this function. Functions have names. So if you've been doing Java before, I know, just mentioning this for people who've done Java, the function is just like the way we would say methods. That's what I learned, like functions and methods, that's the same thing. But now in Kotlin, we just call it functions. So let me keep reading. This function is called main because it is the fast or main function that is called when you run the program. Every Kotlin program needs a function named main, func main. The function name is always followed by two parentheses. Inside the parentheses, you can put information for the function to use. This input this input to the function is called argument. Like I had said before, when we had Java, we had the string argument being passed in main, or args for short. You will learn more about the arguments later. So for instance, this is how it looks like. And then notice the pair of curly braces. So one thing that I've also learned about Kotlin and Java is that they kept the curly braces, which is awesome, because I know there are programs that actually don't have the curly braces. Are there? Yeah, which is pretty interesting. But I love just always adding my curly braces. After, let me read here. Notice the pair of curly braces after the parentheses inside a function is code that accomplishes a task. These curly braces surround those lines of code. Look at the line of code between the curly braces. Print line happy birthday. See, like here, what we did, we have so these are the curly braces, and then this is our particular the thing that we're telling func main to do. The line of code print happy birthday text. Print line tells the system to print a line to the text. Inside the parentheses, you put the text to be printed. Notice that the text to be printed is surrounded by quotes. Yeah, so that is a string. A string has to be surrounded by quotes like that if you're passing it that way. This tells the system that everything inside the quotation mark should be printed exactly as given. To actually print the text, this whole print line instruction has to be inside the main function, like I said before. Extend your program. So let's do a lot of fun with it. So I'm going to take a short exercise session. So in your program that I would kicked out and came my wedding. Oh, sorry about that. So let's take this moment now and just write happy birthday, Jonesy, you're 25. Please let me know when you're done. Nice. It's a good exercise to try because one thing that I can also share, especially being in the field for a while, is that I learned that writing the code helps a lot, especially when you're new, like when you're a junior developer. And I think even senior people here with 20 plus years kind of set this, that when you write the code, even if you're just following patterns from your project, really helps a lot in maintaining that, you know, that code in strength, where at least you remember how you wrote it. You just didn't copy paste it. You just wrote it, even if you were looking like, function this, do this, do that. The next time when you start writing, you'll remember those steps. Like, just keep writing, keep writing. Great job, everybody. So as you can see, what we've done on that one here, we just had a func main again that had three print statements. That is, happy birthday, Johnsy, you're 25. What would you expect this code to do when it runs? Definitely it will print the three things. Now, before I even continue, I want to ask, oh, wait. Let me make sure I'm not giving that away. Oh, okay, let me come back here. Okay, I know if you're looking at the code lab, it's okay, but I wanted to ask, if you don't put the quotation marks on happy birthday, let's say you're doing print line and then you just write happy birthday without the quotation, what do you think will happen? Let me see it in the chat. Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Is this like an integer? Well, for integers, that would be, this is a string. Okay. Print an error? That's interesting. Treat them as variables. Yeah. I know, Scott, that's smart. A specific exception? Good. Okay. Well, it's true. It will think it's a variable, but if the variable is not defined, what's going to happen? You know? But that's a good thought. Unresolved reference. Okay. Okay. Good answers. Thank you, everybody. So definitely, if we've not defined a variable as somebody had mentioned, it will definitely be an error, because you can actually define a variable, which makes it, yeah. So here, if we go here and print line Jersey, as you can see, it is unresolved reference. Print line. Let me go back to the, so here I'm gonna do that. Print line, let's do it together, and then just do John Z, and then run this, and then boop. Now, I just want to gauge everybody here of 43 attendance. So what do you think? I know this is a good practice. How would you resolve that? Let me see in the chat. How would you resolve that? Okay. Any other way? Let's the good thing about Android is that there's so many ways to solving a problem. That's something that I've learned, that somebody can come with an idea and then someone else has a different idea and then it works. It all works. Good. Defining the variable. Okay. Please, I think if you know a way to define the variable, go ahead and define a variable and then paste it in the chat here too. This is amazing. Comment in the code line. Okay. Simple as it is, add the codes. Yeah. I like that because that's straightforward. Like, just add the codes back. I saw somebody had good ideas of defining a variable. Like, do you want to try that step and just paste it in the chat? And anybody else who wants to try the challenge? Oh, great news, Megan. Okay. James, can you tell us when you did that, what did you get? What was printed? What were your results after you put z equals 5? It prints 5. Good. Let's go, and I need everybody to try. So you said Jersey equals 5. Did you define what Jersey was? It was a 5. Oh, well, James already knows Kotlin. That's good. It was a var, good. Or val, okay. Okay. Like Scala, yeah. Cool. I think everybody. Does Kotlin automatically convert integers to string? No, I wouldn't think that. You mean passing an integer to print line? I mean, if you pass an integer to the print line, it will print an integer. And that is not a string. That is a variable that you've just passed in the print line. Okay, great. It does print line. Okay. Cool. Great discussions in the chat. Ooh, okay. I like that. Well, these are all professionals here. This is great. Okay. As you can see, it gave us an unresolved reference Jersey. Tell us what the system thinks is this error code. Even if you don't know what the error means, you may be able to figure out what's wrong. In this case, the print line instruction prints text. You you learned earlier that the text has to be between the quotes. If the text is not quoted, this is an error. And then that's what we did. And congratulations. So here we are, our solution code, and this is our summary. So we can read through the summary. All Kotlin programs need to have a main function. Always remember that. Use the println function to print a line of text. Place text you want to print between double quotes, for example, hello, double quotes. Repeat the print line instruction to print multiple lines of text. Yeah, if you want to have just a simple trick here. If you want to have another line here, you can just do print line, and that's just going to print. Oh, wait. I won't see anything. What do you think that's going to print? My line 1, 2, 3. My line 3. What's line 3 going to print? I want to see in the chat. What's line 3 going to print? Okay. Nada. No. What's Well, it's not null exactly. I wouldn't call that null. It's just going to be a line, right? Line feet. Okay, empty line. Cool. Great. Error? No, I can't. Carlos, no, it cannot print an error because what we're just telling it is, like just print a line here. For instance, if you want to put a line in between your sentences, right? Or your long things, you can do that. I have another question. I just want to gauge a little bit of like in because we're in simplicity. Does somebody know another way to write the print line without putting the print line there? Like how would you print another line, for instance, in there without putting that entire block of code? Good. Try. Great. That is true. Nice. Good. No. AJ, that's the wrong way. It's the other way. Yes, Jake. Yeah, like that. So everybody can try that. Like just go in there and try to print a new line by just adding that and see if as you can see, we have a lot of space here, like double space. Anybody try that? Yes, good. So because this was a simple introduction to Kotlin, there's more resources to it. Please make sure you practice on your own how to do this. Oh, and here we go with the line break. No line break. Oh, let me dismiss this. And as you can, oh, this is, oh, look. I didn't even look through the code lab and they did that practice. How in sync is that? Well, maybe, no, I didn't look. Okay. So the next thing that I want us to do is please feel free to ask me any questions in the chat if you have any questions. And I want to ask a question. I don't know if this is going to be like a poll. I want to see by thumbs up how many already have installed Android Studio on their laptops by thumbs up. If you've not, just do this so that I can see. Please count for me. I want to see how many people have already installed because this is going to be great for us to have the Android Studio. Jay, okay, cool. Cool. Let's do this, team. Okay, it's downloading. Great, great, great. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great, great. That's amazing. Okay. Yeah, that is true. I agree with that. Okay. And that is pretty cool. Looks like everybody here today has their Android Studio installed. So, okay. So based on that, I think I'll if somebody wants to, yeah, I like that. So I think we can have, oh, thank you very much, Megan. So I think based on that, I think that's a nice way to like introduce to bring us into the next session nicely, even if we won't touch a lot on that. So what I want us to do is a simple practice. Random question: is there a reason why the new line is double spaced using? It shouldn't be double spaced. It's only double spaced because we have another empty line there. If you're talking about this one here, if I remove this line, it shouldn't be double spaced. As you can see, it's just a single space. I hope that answers your question. It shouldn't double space, but you can do double space if you wanted to do it just by adding another one. Nice. I like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch all this over and start my Android Studio because everybody said they've downloaded. I've not seen any thumbs down, which is a good sign. So I'm going to stop sharing this and just open. And also, I think my host let me know how we're doing in terms of time. Let me now, I'm going to do this and share my Android Studio. So I know it will take time to load. So let me share. My co-host, my host. You'll let me know about time. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. That is let me I'm gonna clean up this a bit and then just open this, share this window. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen now, and this is what I want to share. So, does everybody see my Android Studio? Cool. If you have the latest version of Android, which is called Actic, that's how it'll look like. Do you have any ideas how to put up with long loading time of Android Studio? Oh, so I think that might have to do with the. I mean, I like being corrected if I'm wrong. My both my personal laptop and my work laptops are pretty fast. So I've learned that sometimes if Android Studio takes too long to load, it might be the space in your laptop, because Android does need a lot of space like to run, because it's a pretty heavy IDE. Because as we all know, it also supports like yeah, I like that one too, the Android virtualized system. Yeah. So it does take a lot of space, and sometimes it can make loading become very hectic and, very. Yeah. I like all those comments. Let me now load my. I hope you can see it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click new project. I want to see if that shows. Can everybody see the new project screen? Or let me. I want to. Okay. Because I thought that's what I thought it would do. Like share. So when I say the new click new project, it doesn't show this screen. We can't see. Yeah, that's what I thought too, because I can't see it on my side too. So I think what I'm gonna do is stop sharing this one. Okay. And see if I can share this one here. Now that's how. Now everybody can see it, right? Because I think I can see it too on my side. Nice, nice. So this is what you'll see. When you start your fast project, you're going to click the new project. So here you will see Android actually has phones and tablet, Wear OS, which is pretty popular, Android TV, and I see another option there, automotive. So I can say I've worked with the few of those. I've worked with phone and tablet. That's what I do now. I've also worked with the one which is the Google Glass, which I would consider is like a Wear OS kind of, because it still runs on Android, but it's more of the Google Glass itself. So it's not like a normal phone you would have. Like, this is my phone. And then if you have a phone like that and you have a Google Glass, it uses the same OS. So I would code in Android and run it on my Google Glass, which is so awesome, and just debug and do all that. The same I think would happen with Wear OS. So you're not limited to only building for the phones. You can build for other things too, which is awesome. And then inside that screen, let me see. I'm gonna click the next. Hope that one comes up. Does it show next? Yes, it does, which is great. So it will show next. So here, this is the name of your project, right? For instance, I have an application in the Play Store that's called Budgeting Buddy. So this is where I named it, Budgeting Buddy, which is the name of the application. And when this application goes out there to the world, let's say I'm successful and then I launch it to the Play Store, it's gonna have the name that I give it here. So always be wise if you're making it for like making extra cash, just name it something you want to remember. The package name. The package name, it's always recommended to start with com. I think it's a Google standard. And then here you can put your name, or for instance, in our company we have our company's name, and this is like an identifier for people seeing your app for the first time. They will see that particular link and say, oh yeah, so this is made by this particular company, which is very easy to identify. And save location, this is where you save your Android project. For mine, it's, as you can see, it's inside my users, my name, and then my Android Studio project. And then the language is Kotlin. You have an option of choosing Java or Kotlin, but mine is Kotlin. And then the minimum SDK. So this is the type of phones you're targeting. So it's always advised to target phones. It will always recommend here your app will run on approximately 94.1% of devices, and you can always check what was there before. As you can see, we had 16, actually we had 50. This is so funny because I remember working on 12. It was 9, 10, 12. Now I think those was all phased out because the support like kind of like stopped, because it makes sense because it will be very terrible. But as you can see, we have 16, which is Jelly Bean. If you find a company that's working on Jelly Bean, maybe they're still supporting very low fonts, which I doubt many people use these days. But you'll find so many difficulties working with these kinds of fonts because there'll be so many bugs that you can't control because of lack of support. So if you always go with the recommended one, like for instance, I see the recommended one is 5.0, which is Lollipop, which kind of like work for, and you can see we go all the way to 31. I mean, you don't want to choose 31 because this one also limits you to few number of people. You don't, let me show you, for instance, if you pick 31, this is what it's going to tell you, less than 1% of devices. I mean, I don't think you want to do that. You want to be able to get many people. Let's choose, for instance, 24. 2473. So you see there's a big number of people. And I find this to be a very good tool because it tells you how many people your app will how many people will access your app. Let me check 19 4.4. Oh, this is 98. And I feel like from 17, it might be 99. So we don't have 100. Oh, yeah. So clearly we don't have 100, but definitely 21 is not bad. So us currently we're building 21 and app, which is awesome. And then once you hit finish, this is what happens. It creates. Does everybody see my screen? Or stop sharing? Oh, we cannot. Sorry. Let me go back there again. Apologies. Okay. Can everybody see it now? Oh, yes. Cool. So this is what happens. As you can see, my project is loading. It will bring that pop-up, which is more of so it's loading. So it takes time here to like assemble everything together, assemble that Grado, assemble that, Delvik. Did you select empty compose or empty activity? I selected empty activity, but definitely I feel like more in the future, people will be using empty compose activity because the empty compose comes with a UI inbuilt, which is amazing because the new Jetpack Compose is a way forward. But currently, because there's still a lot to learn for like new devs, you can always start with this with an empty activity. So an empty activity, as you see, it's just going to be an empty screen. I'm going to open all that and then we can see together. Which API do you work on the most? So I work with 21 through the latest, which I find to be awesome because at least we don't experience as much bugs, but we still have a lot of bugs that we encounter because Android has all this many phones. For instance, we have a Sony, we have a Samsung foldable. We have I'm stuck with 24. Nice. We have Motorola. We have Nokia. So we have so many phones. We have actually HTC and we have Pixels. So all these phones have different, I mean, they use the same OS, which is Android, but they have different way of doing their own things, I feel like. And sometimes you might find a very weird bug on a Pixel and not find it on a Samsung. For instance, I can talk about an experience at work where we've been experiencing a very weird issue with video on Pixels where it bans out some video, just prints a green line, and that and it's specific version, for instance Android 9, and on all the other phones it works fine. So you find that's pretty tough because you have to kind of like fix that problem for that phone. But then they always, the catch is, do you fix that and it breaks for Samsung? Or so there's many challenges, but it's also fun. It's not bad. Sure. So as you can see here, let me open mine so that we can just walk through it together. I hope everybody, and I want to see thumbs ups if you created your fast empty activity. Thumbs ups or down. Or if I'm going too fast, please also tell me I'm going too fast. And please, I like feedback. If you feel like, always send me feedback. I'm gonna share my downloading. Okay, cool. We can wait for each other. As we do that, I'm gonna share my profiles in case anybody has feedback, or even in case anybody wants to connect with me. Here is my okay. Here's my YouTube channel, and here is I'm going to share my Twitter account. I use Twitter a lot. And we also have, I'm organizing Android Dev Hangouts, which is like Android people hanging out. And we're going to be talking more about just Android and the new technology. And I mean, it's going to be amazing. I'm also having a space this Friday just to talk about organizing that event. I see a question there. Are we going to do anything in Compose? Maybe not in this study jam, but definitely I think that is in the plan for the future because many people are still experimenting with it, trying it out. But it's pretty cool. I feel like to get the foundation now for new developers or people switching to Android and Kotlin, it's going to be very beneficial to just try playing around with this compose without using the XML. So it looks like everybody is done. So I'm gonna walk through like what the fast package is, what we do with those, and then probably next time we can try to print our fasts. Hello world or happy birthday. I just want to make sure I see. Oh, okay. Everybody can see it. I'm gonna minimize this bit like that, so I can bring this here so that I can make sure that I. Okay. So the fast. So here where I'm pointing my cursor, this is where we put all our packages. For instance, you can come here and create your package. So a package is a place where when you're designing, when you have a structure, you put your code. If you have a data, you can have your data in there. A package, you can have another package where you can say that is your UI, because it's always good to branch them out so that if somebody wants to debug something, they know that lives in the UI, that is in the data, and then you can have some. So in the UI you can put like things like view models, but that's in depth. Yeah, view like things like view models, things like your fragments and activities and stuff like that. You can also have controllers. This is if you have a centralized so controllers are like when you have a centralized thing. Let's say you have this one button that should work for like two screens or three screens. Instead of creating the same button for three screens, you can centralize that in a controller such that these particular classes can read from the state of that controller. So it's something that I've learned that's pretty cool. This package here is for UI tests. This is where you put all your UI tests, Espresso if your company writes, or if you, which is pretty amazing. One thing that I also want to say is that practice writing tests. Tests are amazing and they're good. We write them a lot, both Espresso and unit tests. Here is where you put your unit tests. Let me go back to the chat and engage a bit. I just want to see in the chat, can I see if anybody has ever heard about espresso test or unit tests? Let me see. If you heard about them, give me a thumbs up. If you heard about the first one, not Android, espresso test or unit test. And I do know other companies do different ones for sure. Okay, so Bonnie has never heard of that. Oh, beautiful, Scott. Beautiful. Unit tests, yeah. So unit tests are always amazing to have. Did unit tests in iOS. Beautiful. So those are always encouraged as you can see, they live in this package right here. This is where your unit tests live and this is where your UI tests live. Now let's talk about this part here. What is this part? So this part here, when we start doing the compose, you won't find you will still find it there, but it's not going to be the same as how it is now. Because right now what is here is this activity main, which is linked to the main activity, and that is the screen of this activity. So if I opened this this layout, this is what you'll see. Let me make sure everybody can see. Yeah, good. Everybody can see it. So this is what you'll see. And if I zoom in into this, like this, just zoom in, you'll see it's just an hello world like we did. And here it just shows you how it's laid out. So this is what Jetpack Compose is going to try to eliminate, just having this kind of XML. You can always split, which is where you can see both your code and both your, your UI here. So if you change something here, it will change here. So currently we use constraint layout, which are the best because they help everything work easier. Map, this is where you put your icon in your manifest here. So the manifest is what actually holds the application together. When somebody downloads your app, they will see the name and the icon that you will choose. So you always have to put your icon here for your app. In here, in the drawables, this is where you put anything you want to use in your app. For instance, if you want a mic button, a mute button, any button. In the values, this is where you put your colors. This is where the color of the, let me make sure that everybody is, I'm not going too fast. Well, if you have a wide screen, okay. Um, is it not viewable? Sorry. Thiano. Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I hope everybody can see my little screen. I didn't actually use my monitor because one thing that I noticed when I used my monitors, they were so little, like people couldn't see. We spent so much time people trying to tell me like I can't see. Oh, okay. I was talking about splitting the code and the UI. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. That is definitely correct. If I had a white, it looks pretty good. It's marvelous when you see it. Just when you have the monitor, just go there and do this. I'm hoping people also gonna just look around this one. So strings, this is where like your application name lives, and you can add as many strings as you want just to be using them in your UI. And now here, this is what now helps the application run. As you can see here, this is where we actually selected the minimum SDK and the target SDK and our version code and then our tests. And then here's when we have our pro guard, and most of this helps, especially if you want your application to be secret. You can set it such that nobody can ever download it or can get they can download it, sorry, but they cannot, like, okay, sorry, let me rephrase this. So they can download your app, but they cannot reverse engineer. That's what I mean. Okay, where are the icons stored again? Yes, they're stored in the drawables. If you can see the drawables, let me go back to the drawables right here. Oh, sorry, not the drawables. Here, mip map. So the drawables, you put other types of drawables that you want to use. That is like any kind of icon you want, you can put it in there. What is ProGuide? So what is the difference between, yes, so yeah, Viano, thank you very much for helping me with that. That is true. The minimum SDK is the minimum, like you saw before we started, we looked into those minimum they had. I think we went all the way to 16, and then the highest one was 31. But you can put a minimum and then the target, which means it will supply from this to this. It's like a range. What is ProGuide, Leonardo? That is a good question. So ProGuide, definitely, as I said, it's a nice way to like obfuscate your code, especially when it's always good to be safe because there are people who can actually go to the Play Store and like find other softwares that can actually decode your code such that if your app can just be downloaded by anybody and they can steal all your code, which makes it even bad for data. Like people can steal your data if you don't know how to secure your code. So when you work on the ProGuide, you can so ProGuide is like a very big thing you can work into. You can put specific classes that you want to hide. You can obfuscate a lot, like just hide in the ProGuide. So that's what it does. It's pretty good. Any other questions? So basically what we've done today is just looked through the Android, how everything looks. Oh, okay, one more thing I forgot. So up here, as you can see, this is how you build your project, so I think this, so here you can see you have your build, make project. It's always good to clean the project fast and then rebuild if you're experiencing any errors. It happens a lot. And here, this is where you run your application and launch it in your particular emulator. By emulator, this is a screen Let me go here. Where is the emulator? You can come here and go to the Avd Manager, and in here is when you'll see where the phones are, the virtual phones. They're called emulators. As you can see, there's many. You can test this one, the tablet, automotive, but here we want, for instance, to get the latest, which is a Pixel 3. You can select it and then do next. And then if it wants this one, you can always download if you don't have it. As you can see, mine is downloading. And then once it's done, you should be able to run your emulator. So I want to see, you're welcome. You're welcome, Leonardo. I'm sorry about that, but that's very true. Sometimes they're pretty, I use a Mac, and actually I've realized that I don't know if it's my M1 that has an issue with the emulators, but it's not, it's, I have to run it in my real phone. So definitely on our next tutorial, we're going to do all that. We're going to run a project completely and make sure that we run on our phones or on our virtual emulator. I just want to know, let me know in the chat if you've looked through that, and please let me know if you have any questions in what we've discussed currently. How do you select the devices? You mean like in the AVD, the way I showed? So here you go, this one is actually running, so let me just, it says please wait. As it does that, you go to tools and then go to Avd Manager. Avd Manager, go to tools and then Avd Manager. Oh, I think this one is actually done. I can do finish. And then here now, as you can see, let me just can uh let me just cancel this and then do that again. So I'll go to tools, Avd Manager. I hope it's loading. Where is my AV? Oh, wait, it's right here. Okay. And then I think I installed this one, the Pixel 3. And then I'm going to do next. I
I
downloaded.
think see what you are
Oh,
showing.
thank you. Oh, you're right about that. I think it's because, okay, okay. Thank you, everybody. Okay, okay. Let me stop sharing that. Apologies about that. Okay, thank you, Linda. Okay, I'm going to come here and go to, that's a good point, and go here and share this screen. Okay, so not a window. Yeah. Okay. So here, I was just reading through the chat. I want to see if, because I think the challenge that I'm having is, um, let me just make sure we can see this together. So everybody can see this. Let me just make it a little on my side so that at least, oh, okay. When I create a virtual, I do this. It's not showing that screen. Is it? It's not. Okay. That is interesting, but I think we can just maneuver this. I'm just gonna stop sharing that one and share the other one. We'll definitely figure this out. Okay, so this is so I apologize in advance if that's a bit hefty, but we can definitely. I think we've even gone. You can also plug. Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. That's what I was saying. You can use that on your phone, and we can try that next time on the next session. But here today, let me. So here, when you open the AVD Manager, you'll see this. When you say create new virtual device, you'll see this screen. In that screen, you I clicked the Pixel 3. I hope that's showing there. And then I said next. Let me see if it's, oh yeah, next is that's showing. And then in here, I will say next again. And yeah, everybody can see that. And then here you can always select the name you want to name your virtual device, your AVD, I'll always like to name it what I will be testing. For instance, if this is 31, I'm going to say the target is 31 test. And always just remember, I always like it to be portrait. And then in here, I always come here and do a cold boot. I hope everybody can see that. I do a cold boot because sometimes it takes longer when I do quick boot. But cold boot, I've learned that after developing for so many years that cold boot works better. And then now you do finish, and that should start your should start. Oh, it stopped sharing the screen. Okay, let me share again. And that should take you to this screen where you can always start your AVD. One thing for sure is that if your laptop doesn't have any space, it won't run pretty well. So you need to have great space. And here I can share mine. Mine is launching, and here it is. I just have to go there. I apologize about this switching screens, but bear with me today. And this is how it looks. It's launching now. And as you can see, it's a phone that I can use to test and run actually my program. And I can, as you can see, it's a phone. And it has all the things that it should have. Like you can actually have a real email here. You can sign in. It's connected to your Wi-Fi, and that's how it has. Yeah, thank you very much, James. So it has a Play Store here, a real Play Store, like you can sign in and download apps. But so let me run the simple project that we did today, and then you'll see it pop out there. So hopefully our next session will be to do more of this, which is going to be even fun. I'm gonna come here to Android. That's the emulator. And then I'm gonna run my little project that we did. And then you're gonna see what's gonna show up in just a few minutes. Let me make sure I come back here as we wait for it to run. So it's running in the background. How do we get the emulator? Yeah, so the emulator again, as I had said, before, you go through tools, Avd Manager, and then once you're there, you click on that, and then it will pop up the screen that we kept struggling showing. So I think the next thing, what I'm gonna do is just use my monitor, my big monitor, and just capture that because this is for the next session for sure. But it's good we got started today. But don't worry if we don't get it all right today. But let me see by show of thumbs up. We still have a good audience. Let me see how many were able to do it. Let me see. If you weren't, that's okay. It's also getting dark in my room. Let me put a little bit of light here because it's nice. So nice, AJ. Nice, Ify. Nice, nice. Good. Please, if you were not able to do it, let me know. Nice, that's great. So let me see how far we are with the running. Good, Leonardo. It's still building, it's still running. So one thing also to have in mind is that every time you have a new project, like when you run a new one from the beginning, it takes a little bit to run because for sure, I mean, it needs to assemble everything together. So for it to come to the phone. But let's wait on it. I'm just moving my phone here. Please let me know if you liked the session. So it's now awaiting again. What? So it's now awaiting again. You click download Kotlin plugins. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And there we go. We got our my application, hello world printed out. So next time come prepared to like write those things in there, like the happy birthday, Jersey, and we'll see it display here, which is going to be amazing. Please let me know in the chat if you have any question, if you enjoyed. I like if something that I can improve. And definitely don't forget to follow me on Twitter and let me know if you have any questions. I'm just here waiting on the chat. And also we can come to the front, I think, if Anna is okay with that. and then maybe we can just talk a bit. And then, yeah, we'll do a birthday card. Yeah. Anna, if you can let people on off on the screen, we can take a picture. I think I'm done for today. We're done with.
Thank you. That's awesome.
The invitation to turn their camera on if they want to take the picture. So I'm giving them the permissions, but they will have to accept it.
Yeah, do we set them as, I'm doing that as well. Do we set them as host, Linda, so people can
only as a presenter, so they can
okay.
turn on their camera.
Presenter mode on. That was fabulous, Madonna. So we actually did go through the first and the second pathway. So don't forget to come back and move forward in creating a birthday card app. And we'll definitely be able to go through the Kotlin basics. If you feel more confident, we also had earlier our GDG Boston Android organizer join, Liz. She was willing to help with the Android Studio installation, but there were no issues there. That's great to know. But let me just post her event. If you want to just see a little more advanced things, you are welcome to join those as well. If you want to be exposed to more advanced Android programming, this is the study jams that she's doing. Of course, we love our own Madonna. Thank you so much, Madonna. That was awesome, truly enjoyable.
Everybody for coming and for staying along. This was amazing turnout, and also like for staying all along. Thank you very much, everybody. I had fun too.
Yes, we'll be looking to Madonna will share the recording with you as well if you'd like to share on your own channel. Linda knows the steps how you can download the video. It takes a few minutes, I think, to get that done. Did we enable everyone as a presenter?
Presenter, not as host.
Yes.
Only presenter.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
The recording, and everybody, if they feel comfortable, they can start unmute themselves and talk, or what should we do?
We wanted to take a screenshot, right? And of
But
course, everybody is welcome to share anything they want.
Should we turn off the recording? So.
Yeah, at this point, I think there's nothing vital that we'll share further.
Okay, so I will turn off the record.
Is everybody